Is this Castor North?
Amy? Cannon? Are you there?
Let's talk about it.
Gay. I didn't even hear it go. This is recording like it normally
so that's
does.
on your end.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Why can't I hear you?
Now the recording's gonna say bleep bloop bleep bloop blop. Okay, I really wish you could hear me. Can you hear me?
There. No, I can't hear you, but I can see what you're saying.
Oh. Poop McMuffins.
Oh, poop McMuffins.
We should just do the whole video like this.
Oh boy, like muffins. Oh, good.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. Oh man.
You're not talking about boy muffins?
No, not today.
I think we should put it in French.
Ooh, that would
Mhm.
be fun.
Speaking language. Okay, so
Chicka, 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 chicka. Okay.
I wonder if we put
Sorry.
speaking language as French, what it would look like. My name is, it's not even coming up. Show captions. Je n'ai pas.
Oh, I want to see. I want to see.
You can't see it on yours?
How do you enable closed captioning?
The little thing at the bottom that says closed captioning.
Oh, captions. Speaking language, French. Show captions. Okay, I've turned them on. Wait for it. Ah, captions.
Ah, cochon. Wow.
Oui, for it.
It just said pig. Cochon is pig. That's great.
Wow, et tu sausage? Sausage. I like that my name is Marie Foray. No, now it's Eric Tomine names. Mary Foray new as Eric Tomine. What the fuck is happening? C'est là, oui. Ken. Why are all these man names coming? Ken Bon Kens.
Oh.
Whirlpool. This man, Nams, Komi Ken Bond. 15 Yerpapool du Simon. Komi Ken Bond.
Sim.
Sepa Mackenbar.
Quipsy, Bonica too.
Quipsy Bonica too. Oh my gosh. Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
That's good.
Been doing my eyebrows for special things.
Oh,
and,
is that what looks different?
you know,
your
it's a little bit of a
eyebrows?
tail on there now. Yeah, there's some color in there instead of just weird blonde eyebrows. They have like
Nice.
shape or structure.
Eyebrows, y'all. Eyebrows. Sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I know I need to get one of those eyebrow things where you can like brush in more color. Actually, well, I kind of have one, but it's too light.
The like spoolie thing.
Spoolie?
Yeah, the spoolie that has color on it, like Anastasia Beverly Hills has this fantastic dip brow. Is that what it's called? Ooh, I might be messing it up. They have like a dip brow and it comes out on this little tiny spoolie. And it's like angled so that you can just do the like floop, 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 floop.
Oh yeah, that's what I need is a dip brow spoolie.
Yes, Anastasia is best, and then Benefit is.
Anastasia. Also, we are not sponsored by Anastasia, but if you want to sponsor us,
Hello, queen.
hello, that would be great.
And then I did my pencil to fill it in, just saying.
Fabulous. Digging it. Also, I brought a LaCroix, just in case anyone wanted to revisit that.
Ah.
I will cut you through the screen.
Oh.
I can feel it. Wait, what's the melody? Feel it coming in the air tonight. Alone. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Alone. Anyway. Oh no. Your birthday sucks that your birthday's on a Tuesday.
Oh my God, I'm officially back to my original born day.
Oh, you were born on a Tuesday?
Yes.
I don't know what day I was born on.
Only reason I know that is because anytime I enter my date where it makes me like scroll through and it's like, what day were you born? And it's like the whole month calendar. It's a Tuesday.
That's interesting. I've noticed my birthday is usually always Friday or Saturday.
Huh.
And this
How
year
does-
it's Saturday. Because it's
how does-
always the weekend of LA Pride.
Mm. Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about prides.
I
It's
just
not that
caught
long.
my neck tick on camera. Do you notice that I have a neck tick? Where I
Mm-mm.
do like that? Like sometimes I feel like I have to like stretch my neck and like anyway.
Ooh, cute.
The things you learn. All right. So anyway, hi. Castor North in the building.
I'm Cannon.
I'm Amy. And we're Castor
Castor
North. I was wondering if you're gonna say that or gay. If you're gonna say Castor North or gay. Both are true. Both are true.
Yeah.
So today we kind of have a bit of a doozy.
It's a doozy.
It is a doozy. It's a doozy. We're just, a doozy. We're just broaching the topic of mental health and microaggressions against the lesbian community and oppression of the LGBTQ community and all that fun stuff.
Reminds me of the dance Kristen Wiig does that I can't remember, but it's like super ridiculous. She's like, or Elaine.
Oh yeah, Elaine.
When she does the Target thing and she's like, yes.
Target. Yeah, we used to do that all the time, I feel like.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, mental health, which is ironic because this morning I had one of those out of body moments where I was getting ready for the day and I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? What's the point? And I was like, oh, I need to get out of this fast because I am in a dark room because it was still dark outside. And I was like, ooh, keep moving, keep going, turn on Family Guy. It's okay. Listen to other things that are happy and funny.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about this earlier, but obviously one of the first things that I wanted to discuss because we saw it earlier today and it is just so fucking upsetting, even though it keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. It still hurts every single time we get an awesome new lesbian show, one season, and then she's canceled.
Yep.
And of course, I am referring to A League of Their Own. So we found out today that A League of Their Own it's not fully canceled, but it's only coming back for 4 episodes in season 2.
Which basically means they're releasing it slowly into the unknown.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 episodes and then it's canceled.
Right.
Which is, I think this one hurts a little more because it's like, it seemed almost bulletproof. It's like, okay, Abby Jacobson, A League of Their Own, something about it felt like, okay, finally. And then the show itself was so good and had
so many amazing topics. Like, oh my God, it wasn't like it. I feel like all they're focusing on is, well, there's lesbians and it's you gotta get rid of it. but not all of the topics about history and everything that women went through back then, black and white. And it's just like, so not only are you just taking away the lesbian aspect of it, which you in the first place for that, but also you are just diminishing the viewing of women's rights and what like happened during that time.
Yeah. I've noticed that the only programs or movies that we do get are intense, violent, depressing, or graphic.
Yeah.
And are mostly based on like the age-old fetishization of lesbians, you know, through the male gaze.
Right.
And
Like,
if a show isn't that,
all directed by men.
Yeah. So if a show isn't that, if it's not like the way that the men want to tell the story, like this dark, depressing, whatever relationship that can't even happen because of the time period or other circumstances, or if the main character isn't a complete psycho, then we're not going to tell it.
Or if it's not like grooming or something like that, like it's just not, that doesn't fly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I loved how much they like showed in that, like they actually portrayed the struggle of being gay back then and what that looked like and how aggressively you had to hide it. Like the literal underground speakeasy club, like that was real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if anybody found, they basically just like firebombed it, arrested everybody, shut the entire thing down, and were like, this is never happening again. And if it is, then basically you're in jail for the rest of your life.
Yes. Yep. And then the other part is that Abby finally, shined a light on the experience of a Black woman at that time. It's like in the original A League of Their Own movie, obviously we didn't see anything about what the Black, female perspective was at that time, especially not the Black queer female perspective. And so for her to, bring that in too is just this whole other side that so many people have never gotten to see, and it's so important for us to see stories like that, for everyone to see stories like that. And so I don't know, it's like I don't know, it's just is so upsetting that these pieces that we get that are really important, that should be kept, are the ones that get the axe, and these pieces with problematic storylines, fucked up characters, death, destruction, sadness, whatever, those are the ones that they give us.
Yeah, exactly. Where the husband finds out and horrible things happen to the wife, or they get basically like shunned and move, and like, I don't know, like even Disobedience was just such a shit show, and that was basically mainstream. Like that was probably one of the most prevalent lesbian movies that have been out in a long time, and that was like, you must hide it, this is an abomination, like being gay is a sin, and like, yeah, I don't. Thanks.
And I mean that, sorry, the one, I just apologized to my microphone. Did you see that? That's where I'm at. Like, oh, sorry, honey. That one did shine a light on the Jewish Orthodox community and what it would be like to be a queer woman in that community. So I do think that was an interesting and important piece, but there again, yeah, just super dark, heavy, depressing. The struggle. It's always about the intense struggle. I mean, even Happiest Season was about this girl's struggle to come out to her parents and to accept herself.
Yeah.
It's always about fucking struggle, and we never get to see lesbian joy.
Nope.
We never get to see lesbian joy. Like two chicks just diking out and having a good time.
Yeah.
We don't get to see it. We don't ever get to see it.
Carol was a complete challenge.
I mean, Carol's the closest thing we have to like a happy lesbian love story.
That's
Isn't
true.
that fucked up?
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
it
there
wasn't.
might be some others out there. I'm sure I haven't seen every queer movie. I know that I haven't, or every lesbian movie, but I feel like Carol was like one of the closest things we got, closest mainstream movie we got to depicting like a happy lesbian love story, because they get to be together in the end. But
They couldn't show it. They just had
they
to.
didn't show it. They took us through all the shit and then ended it there.
Yeah. And then she ends it with standing in front of Carol at a table and she chose her. I don't know. Like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, people might be wondering how this rant relates to the topic of mental health, but I think they're directly correlated. You know, it's like, it's already so hard being a queer person in this country. I was looking at some numbers, and so there's two different ones. I'm not sure. HRC, Human Rights Campaign, reported that there are about 340 active anti-LGBTQ bills at the moment. But then I saw this ACLU map that mentioned about 420. So there's somewhere between 340 and 420 active anti-LGBTQ bills in this country right now. That's so fucking stressful.
Yeah. To live every single day wondering if tomorrow we're going to wake up and not have the same rights that we have at this exact moment.
Mm-hmm. And then add that to all the anti-woman or menstruators bills out there, trying to keep women from accessing women and menstruators from accessing proper medical care, abortion care, et cetera, et cetera. So it just feels like it's so heavy on so many levels. And we're two white women. We're not even a queer person of color. We're not trans. So obviously we can't speak to those experiences or what they're going through. But I can only imagine.
Yeah.
To have even more added to that plate. So it feels dark a lot of days.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine being a human in the South that is queer in any form, or a female that isn't a conservative or a Republican in the South. Like, dear God, do I feel for you, because there is just constant humans going after you. And I mean, like, even being out and about, like in Kara's show, Planet Sex, like you could tell some of the people she interviewed at Dinah were definitely from the South, and they're like, oh, do you hold hands? And they're like, oh, no.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, God. Like, I remember those days where I was like, nope, I don't want to, because I don't want to get like run over by someone or beat up by somebody, because I'm like out there. And that was in LA.
Oh yeah. I mean, my most recent ex, like she didn't ever want to show PDA or hold hands, like anything in California. And it's like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked, but I got it. I understood. It's scary. It's scary walking around here with short hair in Wisconsin, looking the way I do. The looks I get from some middle-aged men. It's like, I don't know.
Yes, can I help you?
Yeah, it's like just this,
I'll steal your wife, thank you.
right? You see the look they're giving you, and you get that gut feeling like, oh God, like, please don't come after me.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. So
I
that in and of itself, oh, go ahead.
was gonna say I definitely resonate with that now being out in more Mormon territory. It's weird. Like I do still look like semi version of a housewife out here. I will admit the blonde hair blends in very well. However, I don't dress at all like a woman. Like I'm very much more masculine in my presentation. And I mean, the amount of times that even the women are like, it's like, it's fine. It's okay. I won't even talk to you. I won't even look at
Yeah,
you because I don't want to bother you.
yeah. Yeah. So you add all that to on top of, people who have always struggled with other mental health issues. I have struggled with insomnia, panic attacks, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, all of it since I was a teenager. Um, yeah. And then I don't know,
Yeah.
you can share what you want to.
Yeah. I'm an open book. Yeah, I've had, I mean, since I was probably like 11 is when I was diagnosed really with bipolar, manic depressive, ADHD.
Oh, ADHD,
Yeah,
that too.
yeah, we are neurodivergent. Although it does present rough in our day to day. But yeah, I am thankful that I have mostly managed to stay away from addiction, even though that runs very strong in my genetics.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't make it any easier because it's like, well, I could just do all that and then maybe I would feel better. But then it's also like, no, I probably won't.
I can tell you from experience. You won't. I mean, you will temporarily, and then
Right.
you won't.
Right.
Yeah. And then it just makes everything worse.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy out there. And it's hard. It's hard when most of the people in your life love them to death are straight allies essentially. So like communicating with somebody that is, while an ally is also, hetero, cis, presenting, whatever. Um, when situations like this happen, like before marriage was legal, it's like, oh well, you'll get there someday. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, but like you've been allowed to do this your entire life. So like I
Right.
don't think you'll get there. It's gonna happen. I'm here with you. Like what can I do for you? What can I do to help this pass, to help do things? Like straight allies, please vote in our favor if you are actually a straight ally and not just saying it to continue maintaining a happy relationship with your fellow queer.
Yeah. Well, I think we've just gotten to a point in this country where, not to get too much into like the political aspect, but it's become very clear that you're either voting with a group of people that want to just oppress anyone who is part of a minority group and are really trying to uphold the foundational, system of white supremacy, or you're voting with a group that is working towards changing that foundation, changing all the rot at the foundation of our country, and working toward progress and equality for all. And those are really the only two sides anymore.
Yeah.
So those are your choices. You either vote with white supremacy and oppression, or you vote for progress and equality. That's it.
Which
It's as
is
simple
wild.
as that.
Like
It's as simple as that.
it's wild that it's come to this much of a division.
Mhm.
It's like, I mean, even what was it, South Carolina, that is has the bill in hand to give the death penalty for abortions. And it's like, you already messed with every aspect of getting pregnant and aborting the child, which is all encompassing. So women that had no choice with what happened, i.e. rape, and women that can't afford it. So really all we're doing is oppressing an already overloaded system, because you are forcing to create more children in environments where those children can't be supported. So then we overload the foster care system. So by taking it literally is all just women's rights and the simple rights of our bodies and what we do with them. And that is also all encompassing, trans, queer, everything. Like, it's our bodies. Like,
it's all about power and control.
Rights.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's all it is. It is our human form. Let us do what we want with it. Like, I get it that in some situations it's like, okay, that's a really rough topic, but that doesn't mean that we just say it's not allowed. Don't, it's not. Nope. Sweep it under the rug.
It's all just about power and control. And I think it's like this mad scramble for all the old white men at the top to maintain power. They're like, oh shit, like these younger generations are coming for us. We got to do something quick to make sure that we maintain our power. What can we do? You know, and that
people that run this country are boomers.
Yeah. And, you know, and then outside of just like the gender and queer issues, then you got like voter suppression laws and gerrymandering and like the whole fucking thing. I mean, we could go on and on about all the different things they're trying to do to maintain control. But anyway, so it's hard to maintain a positive state of mind when all of this shit is going on and we get news alerts on our phone every single day about a new bill that's happening, or that drag shows have been banned in this state, or, you know, or that a gay bar, you know, something happened, a gay bar has been burned down, or a woman burned a pride flag outside of a queer bar, whatever it is. Like it's this constant barrage of like negative news stories about attacks on the LGBTQ community and women and people of color. And it's so fucking hard to not let that impact you all day, every single day.
Yeah. Because
so
it's not in the forefront of your mind most of the time, but anytime any one of those notifications pops up or anything happens that you hear about, it's like, well, there's my hole again, and I'm gonna sit in it. And all we need is our empathic individuals to be like, I'm gonna sit in this hole with you. Because at the end of the day, mental health cannot be approached alone. And it is so incredibly important to find, even if it's just one person that is like, I am here. I'm not, as Brene puts it, I'm not outside of the hole asking what you need. Do you need a sandwich? What do you need? Because I'm up here. Do you want me to throw down the ladder? No, what we need is for you to throw down the ladder, put yourself down there with us, and live in the uncomfortable. Nobody wants to live in the uncomfortable. And this is one of the biggest problems that we as a human race face. We would rather be like, oh, it's okay. You're fine.
Yeah, just exercise more. Try to get some sunlight. Yeah, just like take a walk outside in the fresh air, you know, like get out of the house. That'll really help.
I think about the whole time I'm out of the house or walking down the street, if I'm in like one of my depressive states, is I wonder how fast that car is going, and if I step in front of it, will it kill me? Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh good, fresh air, love it, yay, I get to bask in the sunlight of depression. It's like, that does not help.
Right. And obviously, while exercise and being outside and going in nature and getting fresh air and eating right and all those things, while those are largely beneficial to your overall health, there's this idea that anxiety and depression and ADHD and OCD and whatever can just be, the symptoms can just be alleviated if you just do these little things that, oh, just take some yoga classes. That might really help.
That does not alter my actual mental state. It is a literal, like, hardwiring, neurons firing, like doing
it's your brain chemistry. Yeah. You
can't
can't
alter my brain chemistry. Thank you, though.
Right. And for some people who have mild anxiety from time to time, I'm sure that does help. But when you have debilitating anxiety, debilitating chronic anxiety, and panic disorder, that shit does not help.
Oh.
So anyway, so what I was going to ask before is, given all of that, what are some things that you have been doing to try and like keep yourself afloat?
I found more recently having noise in the background on a very regular basis when I'm like I will have a show on, or now I'm listening to audiobooks. I think having that going on as something that is keeping my mind busy and focused on one specific thing going on has really helped.
Mm-hmm.
I slightly feel like it's becoming a little bit of a crutch. But at this moment, it is a good coping mechanism, because the silence is what is like, the silence is the loudest versus listening to something that keeps me distracted. And I hate saying that I'm distracting myself, because that is not exactly positive, but it's beneficial right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of times I have little dance parties at night. Sorry, neighbor. I do.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, for me, it's getting out like energy, because one of my biggest problems is when I have a lot of energy is when my mind is like going a mile a minute. So if I manage to exhaust myself, which genuinely takes a lot, that also helps. So just keeping myself busy is beneficial, and listening to music that hypes me up.
Yeah, for sure. Music. Yes.
What about you?
Let me get some chapstick and then I'll answer that. Forgot to bring my chapstick over. My lips are like, it's so fucking dry here. Just need to hydrate. Okay.
I just after doing that, I was like,
huh? Oh.
like, uh-huh.
Yeah, you apply that chapstick. Yeah, so my main coping mechanism is meditation. And I know a lot of people have heard that and they're probably rolling their eyes like, oh, she was just talking about things that people recommend and that help. And I thought that about meditation for a long time too. But it took me like probably about 2 years of just continuously trying it for me to actually get to a point where I started to really get into it and then realize like, oh, I actually feel so much better after I do this, or oh, that does really take my mind off of things and helps me like calm down. So I do meditate at least once a day, usually twice a day.
Is it guided?
Some of them are guided. I have this one meditation. It's called Bob Proctor Let me just look it up so I can give you the actual name. I do it pretty much every afternoon. Bob Proctor Abundance Meditation. And it's 20 minutes. And for whatever reason, that one like gets me in the zone. Like by the time I'm coming out of it, I'm not sure if I was just in a trance or if I fell asleep or if I'm like, what happened? But that one, it's like now I'm to the point where I crave it. It's like, oh, it's whatever time, like I gotta go do my Bob Proctor. So yeah. So but like I said, it is taken a long time for me to find just like one meditation like that really actually helps me. So it's a process, but I do recommend trying it if you can get into it and stick with it. I think it can be largely beneficial. And there's so many different kinds of, there's guided meditations, transcendental meditation, meditation music with different like hertz, and the different hertz that they're at can impact different parts of your brain. And so like there's so much to explore. Just YouTube, meditation music, guided meditation, there's so much stuff on there, and that's huge for me. The other part is medication. I stay solidly doped up. No, I don't want to say doped up, but you know what I mean. I'm on those anti-anxiety meds. I'm taking an NRI called Effexor, which I went through like every single SSRI that's out there, and none of them really helped. And then
And
finally,
what do those stand for?
Something serotonin reuptake inhibitor. What is it? Something serotonin. I know the SNRI is serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. What's SSRI? Fuck. I gotta look this shit up again too. Tell me you're a Gemini without telling me you're a Gemini.
Which we both are.
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Okay.
I couldn't remember the word selective. So anyway, not everyone needs medication. That's great if you don't. I wish I didn't. I tried to go without it for a long time, and I'm just one of those people that realized like, oh shit, I'm actually just gonna have to probably be on this shit forever. So yeah, so getting on the correct medication, meditating, exercising, and getting out that excess energy when I have it. Well, it's hard with anxiety, sometimes you do have that like what do you want to call it, feeling in your chest where I'm like, oh my God, I just feel like I need to like run or do something. And then other times it's like you are just so exhausted that you just cannot function.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like that last anxiety attack you helped me through, where I fell asleep in the middle of trying to come down from it because I'm so exhausted.
Yeah, dude, the shit's tiring.
Yeah.
Especially when it's just like when you're having a massive anxiety attack, like the things it does to your body is it's rough.
Exhausting.
But having you, like you were saying before, if you have even just one other person to talk to about it, I mean, honestly, don't know what I would have done this last year without you. Because, well, no, seriously, when I first came back here and I was having my like massive breakdown and shit, like, you were just there always. So
Same to you. Oh, you were here for me the whole time. Yeah, I honestly probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you.
Don't say that.
But it's true.
It makes me sad.
I'm not gonna cry.
You're already crying. You better not fucking go anywhere or I'll kill you. I'll come after you and fucking kill you, bitch.
Help. We're just getting really real with it.
We are. I mean, I've been there, I was there when I was 20 and when I was 23, I I made attempts on my life, so unfortunately, when you don't feel you have a support system, when you don't feel like you have anything to look forward to, when you don't feel like you have any lifelines or outlets, your brain can trick you into thinking that that's the only option. But it is so important to know that it's not the only option. And I'm not going to pretend that life is easy. Like, living with this shit every single day is hard. Like, life is fucking hard, and everything that's going on in the world doesn't make it easier, but there is so much to be grateful for. And it's those little moments, like when you hike up to the top of the mountains and you're standing there and you have that 360 view, and it's just like incredibly breathtaking, it's like things like that. And like for me, it's like when I get to spend time with my niece, or when I'm playing tennis, or you know playing a sport, just like simple things like that, or just laughing with a friend. Like, that's the shit that makes it like, okay, I'm glad that I got to be here for this. I'm glad I stuck around.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's also hard sometimes, because in those moments when you're at your lows, it's like, well, when is that moment going to happen? Like, when is that next big moment where I'm like, oh, this is why I'm here. Like, this is why I stuck around. And
Yeah.
just getting yourself out of that mental state too. Like, yeah, hiking for me is such a big one. That's why I'm like, I just had to give in. I had to start hiking in the snow because I felt like I was going insane.
Yeah.
And every time I got up there, even the days where I was like, no, I'm too tired, I'm sore, I was like, nope, I have to do it, because I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be like, damn, I really should have gone up there. I'm sad that I didn't now. And it's like literally anything triggers it. And absolutely, it's just any day, any morning. There's nothing that's just like, there's nothing specific that triggers it. And I think that's also something that's really hard too. Is
Mhm.
it's like you could just be sitting there. You could have just hung out and had like the best night of your life, surrounded by a ton of people that you care and love, or you care about and love. And then you get home and it's just like, it literally hits you like a
It's
match.
like, boom.
Yeah, there's just this feeling of just, and
Yeah.
it's just all gone, and you're just
It's,
sitting there in your apartment like, well,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say therapy has been great for that.
Yes. Therapy,
Well,
another one.
yeah, as an outlet. We're not sponsored by it, but BetterHelp is phenomenal, because you can bounce around and try and find the right person, and it's just a flat cost the entire time. And there's also group therapy that is
Mhm.
included in the cost, and there's so many topics they go over. There is an entire topic category of just LGBTQ, of just queer everything, and there's like literally daily group therapy sessions, so like I took advantage of that. And I've been in therapy for 5 months now, 6, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been wildly helpful as well.
Yeah.
It's like they're there to literally validate your experience. Like, that is their job, is to validate that how you feel is allowed, it's real, it's life, like everything that caused you to feel this way is valid. And
Mhm.
it's like, yes, it's phenomenal to also have a friend to validate those experiences. This person is genuinely like an outsider that knows everything about you, that is just like, you are valid.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And sometimes it's easier to say the things that you don't feel like you can say to anyone else, to a stranger, to a person that you don't really know, who's just sitting in a chair across from you, that you're going to have no contact with again until your next appointment. They don't know anything else, anything that you don't tell them. They don't know about you. It's just this random ass person who sits there and listens to you say what you need to say, and like you said, and then validates your feelings. And that's huge.
Yeah.
I will say something that might come across as like slightly controversial to some people in the queer community, but I'm not pushing anything. But I personally have a spiritual practice. Like, I have a relationship with God. You can call it whatever you want, like a higher power, the universe. But I honestly do not know. Well, I also wouldn't be here if I didn't have that relationship. And like, I have personal testimony for how who I call God has shown up for me and has helped me through things and has created openings or doors for me where there didn't seem like there were any. And so if you are a person who's thinking about spirituality or just trying to find something to grab onto, I just highly recommend just trying it out, just getting on your knees and praying to whoever you want to pray to, or whatever it is you want to say, just talking out loud to the universe, just putting your feelings out there and trusting that there's something bigger that will help you get through. And if I didn't have that, I honestly don't know where I'd be. So that's a big thing for me.
I will state that I am the opposite side of that. I don't really believe that there's anything up there, which is fine. Like, it doesn't, like, I will never say anything about anybody else's belief system. Like, I've always said, I feel like the closest thing that I resonate with in the religious world is Buddhism, because I mean, Buddhists were one of the first people that were just like, you're gay, that's cool. Like, am I supposed to say something else?
For sure.
And
well,
it's
okay.
a weapon or a tool or anything against like the negative people. I'm not saying that everybody in the religion of believing in God is a negative person towards the queer community. There are plenty of people that are accepting and welcoming and open arms about it. But I think it's one of the very few religions that has never been used as a weapon. Yeah. And I think that's why I resonate a lot with it. And it's just like, it's about impermanence and like love all as you would love yourself. And it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like that's what I closely relate to.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not mutually exclusive ideas, because I think a big misunderstanding that a lot of people have around the term God is they automatically think like Christian, like Christian God or Muslim God or, Jewish God, whatever. But God can be whatever you want it to be. And like in meditation and with Buddhism and that idea of enlightenment and just trying to reduce suffering, it's all that same concept of like trying to connect with that place that is outside of your mind and body and finding peace there, or finding some just reprieve, or finding something there that helps make what's happening here a little less shitty.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed. Yeah.
So, and that's what I mean by spirituality and God. It's like, I think organized religion is I think you can't go to an establishment with a large number of people and listen to one person tell you how to build your relationship with your higher power. That is something that only you can do. Only you can create that relationship or work on that relationship. And so I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I think organized religion is
wild and tumultuous and
largely at times problematic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much So
but having a personal spiritual practice can be a really powerful thing. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
but I don't want to gloss over what you were saying before about like just, and we don't have to keep this, but just about like, you don't know if you'd be here and stuff. Like, I mean, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay now. Way
Okay.
better than I was before.
No, but like you're
First
not gonna do
year, I was
anything.
like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, I just left everybody I love, everything. And I'm now living like here by myself. And I'm like, what did I just do? Oh my God. Because like, this is the first time I've ever moved somewhere where I don't know anybody, where I don't know anything. Because when I moved to LA, it was like, I know my sister, I know anybody that she knows, I know my family. Like, if anything happens, I know I can go be with them or like stuff like that. But like, coming out here, it's like I am literally 10-hour drive away from anybody that I know, or an hour and a half flight from anybody that I know. And it's like in those moments, it's like I'm not gonna get in my car and drive to be with somebody or book a plane ticket to go be with somebody. So it was like I knew Alex and Brandon, but I didn't know them enough to be like, I'm struggling like a lot.
Yeah.
um so yeah, it was like, it was funny because the first moment that it hit, I was unpacking everything and I remember where I was standing. I was putting laundry, like I was putting the towels up on the shelf and I was like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this? Why don't I just end this right now? And I don't remember if I reached out to anybody in that moment or if I was just like, no, that's dumb. Stop it.
I don't know. I mean, you might have reached out to me because you hit me up like many a time during that first move. So I don't know if it was that specific time, but I know there were a couple of times where you were kind of like in crisis mode.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's definitely gotten better now that I'm more busy with everything. Um, so yeah, and Alex and I have a way stronger relationship now. Like, yeah, so it's gotten a lot better.
That's good. Well, I am so proud of you for,
In
huh?
this, except when everybody that I know leaves, like goes somewhere else,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, I'm completely alone again. What if I have like a palpitation that turns into a heart attack and I'm dead?
Yeah. Well, that's what triggered my massive anxiety meltdown when I first moved back here
Yeah.
from LA. So I was, in that similar situation, or from San Diego, I mean, in that similar situation where it's like, okay, I had been mostly alone for like 2 years after, COVID and quarantine and all that, because it's like everything was still so like shut down. And I mean, COVID regulations dragged out long into 2021 out there. And I mean, I was just fucking alone and alone and alone and alone. And so eventually I had come to the conclusion that it would be a good time for me to come home and just kind of like reset. And so you would think that my big anxiety meltdown would have happened while I was spending all that time alone, but it did not. In fact, it came right after I moved home to be with my family. And it was the first weekend that I was back here, and my grandma had COVID, so I couldn't go see her. My sister and niece and brother-in-law went up north to their cabin, and my mom was down in Kentucky. And my best friend from high school was, I don't know, she was working, doing something with the family, I don't remember. And I'm just sitting there going, uh, 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 I like I have no connection to the earth right now. Like I'm so alone. Like I felt more alone than I had ever felt in my entire life, in like this insane, I don't even know, indescribable way. Where like everything I knew, like nothing made sense. And I couldn't even get a feel for like where I was on the planet and in the world. And like, I don't know. I just lost it. I completely was like disconnected. Uh, and I flipped out, and I had like a 4-day long anxiety attack / panic attack. It was kind of like just off and on. And almost brought myself to the mental hospital, but I couldn't even get in right away because there was like a whole process of like a whole intake process, and I couldn't even like get in. And I was like, what now? What now?
Yeah.
And I somehow made it through, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th night of the attack. And the next morning texted my psychiatrist and was like, I need an emergency meeting, like now. And luckily he was available, and he prescribed me some new meds, and, you know, and helped like get me through that situation. But
Yeah. Would not recommend.
that was like one of the I've been through a lot of shit, and that was one of the most difficult experiences I've ever had, and like the months that followed that.
Yeah. I mean, that alters you as an individual experience.
Yeah, like making big changes.
Mhm.
It's like you know going into it that it's going to be hard and that you're going to have some work to do to get through it, but you don't really know
Right.
until you're in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think especially neurodivergent and just people with mental health issues in the first place, like I feel like we struggle a lot more with that kind of situation, because like we're the kind of people that are like, most of us are introverted extroverts is what I call it. And so we're like,
Ambiverts.
yes, like I want to go out and make friends and I want to do this and that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get ready. And then you start getting ready and you're like, never mind, I don't want to go out, because that's most likely going to be me going out alone because I don't have anybody out here. And then you play out the entire scenario in your head of going out by yourself and hate it. So then you just
Yep.
ready to go to bed.
Yep.
And so
Exactly.
it's like endless cycle of just like wanting to meet people and wanting to be a part of something in your new space, your new town, your new area, and just the drive to do it is, I don't know if it's mentally or physically there. One of the two, it's there, but if
Both.
it's not both,
Yeah.
then it's like I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it's mental or physical, because it's like, I don't know. I don't know that it's physical. It's kind of like mentally both. It's like mentally, I know that I want to go out and meet people and do this. And mentally, I know that it's going to be really stressful to like figure out where this place is and then figure out the parking situation. And I don't know what traffic is going to be like and how many people are going to be there. And are they going to look at me when I walk in? And am I even going to be able to talk to anybody? Like, is it going to be crowded? Is there going to be nobody there? Like, I don't even know what to expect. And now there's too many things that I don't know and I can't go.
Exactly. Which is why it's like, as hard as it is, like finding one person again in your area that is like, I don't care how you feel, we're going.
Mhm.
Like, I am definitely, again, really thankful for Alex in that regard, because she is like, we're going to dinner. Want to come? We're gonna go have drinks. You want to come? Like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't ever stop inviting me to do things if I say no too many times.
Yes. Thank you, Alex, from the bottom of my heart for helping Canon get through these tough times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial to even just like try and find one individual that's just like, all right, we're going. Cause she's my
Mhm.
little extrovert. She's like, I have to be out. I have to do things.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll be right beside you.
Yep. Well, that's what Kristen is too, my best friend from high school. Like, she'll say, or we'll talk about doing something, but like I mentally and physically like can't always get myself to take the steps to like research places, or obviously I can't make phone calls because making phone calls is like a whole other thing. And so a lot of times I struggle to take the steps to actually like put things together, and then she'll be like, okay, well, I booked us a time here to do this and whatever, so we're going this day and all that. And I'm like, okay, cool, like thanks for doing that.
This is place, this is the ambiance.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so that is helpful.
even just one
Yeah.
person in the corner in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
And that's
Helps.
mental health.
And even if you don't have somebody though, don't give up and hang on, because it will happen. You will come across that person. You will have to leave your house eventually, or try to reach out to people on social media, or try to make contact in some way.
Yeah.
But if you do, like, you will find someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Social media is beneficial in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, that's how I met Shay. Shay's great. Like, definitely warming up to actually having real conversation now. And that's pretty beneficial. And through her, I've met a couple other people who are also neurodivergent, because she claims she is not. We all think it's there though. But yeah, I've met like other people who experience ADHD the same way I do. And I literally slid into her DM and I was like, yo, I'm not trying to date. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just really new to the area. You look like you're a really cool person. Love to get to know you better, hang out, whatever. And
Mhm.
now, what is it, 8 months later now? Hanging out.
Jeez, yeah, it's been almost a year. Shit. That's wild.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where time went.
Oh my God, I've been back here for almost a year too.
Yeah.
Yikes. But a lot changes in a year.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow, a lot changes in a year. That's something that I've realized the last few years, is like when you are actively working on yourself and actively like trying to take steps to make changes in your life, things do change. And like the last few years, every single year of my life has looked so vastly different from the year before. It's just like mind blowing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did multiple careers trying to find out what I wanted to do with my life. I went from retail to solar, and now I'm in consulting and all that. And it's like, yeah, I'm right there with you. Every year has held something very different.
I heard, I think it was on Glennon Doyle's podcast. Do you know who Martha Beck is? Okay, well, she's an author, and I think she was a Harvard professor or something for a long time, but she's just an incredibly interesting, knowledgeable person who has had a wild life journey. And I highly recommend checking out her books or listening to her speak on some podcasts. But one thing she said on this podcast with Glennon is the idea of being in the river. And I kind of made it my own, and I like the idea of being a leaf in the river, and just when things are really hard, letting go of any idea that we have any control, and just like, okay, I'm just going to be a leaf. I am literally just going to flow with whatever is going on, wherever life is taking me in this moment. I am a leaf and I am going with it. I will have no resistance and I'm just going to see what happens.
I feel like I remember my therapist telling me something about that when I was like, I'm just trying to control everything. And she was like, I'm going to give you this analogy. And now
Did she say it?
Talking about it, I remember her saying
Yeah.
something about going down to the river and just being like,
Being in the river.
yeah, just
Yeah.
calm and relax and
Just floating with the water. Yeah, but it is crazy how that can turn your thinking around when you're super like hyper focused on something and so stressed out. And it's like, no matter how much I stress about this, I literally am not going to be able to change the outcome now that it's out there, or I'm not going, like, there's nothing I can do in this exact moment to change what's going to happen. So I have to just take a breath, understand that whether I stress or not, I have zero control, and just let go and be in the river. And it's going to go how it's going to go. And I'm going to prepare myself to just accept it as it comes or take it as it comes.
Yeah.
I think that's been a huge thing for me in this last year.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Podcasts, books, Brene Brown, Glennon Doyle, like powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Definitely.
Well, go ahead. I feel like I keep cutting you off.
You're fine. I was going to say, Brene has a laundry list of books that have been so incredibly beneficial because I've been on a journey of relearning, not even relearning, learning what a lot of things are that I didn't even know about. Like, I didn't even know about vulnerability until September of last year. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was a thing people experienced. And now, I mean, that's one of Brene's like biggest things is the ability to be vulnerable. And that is a huge thing in the mental health world as well. It's like feeling vulnerable enough to share what you're going through. Like vulnerability is power. And it's incredibly important to maintain that and not shut down when you're feeling a lot of things.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And yeah, Brene has some awesome literature out there. So this one, The Gifts of Imperfection.
Ooh.
So this one talks a lot about vulnerability. This one, and it's a fairly thin book too. So if you don't actually like to read a lot, I highly recommend this book. Like, you can see I went through, like, there are highlights on like most every page I'm flipping to, that whole paragraph is highlighted. So just some really, really stellar things in there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I am doing, what is it? Dare to Lead. And then I also have
A good one.
Daring Greatly. I thought it was just me, but it isn't. Atlas of the Heart. Brene, if you want to sponsor us, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, or come on and chat with us.
Yeah,
well, she actually has her own podcast. So I was just going to say that she has a podcast on Spotify. So that's a really good one to listen to.
Brene, we want to be guests.
Yeah, I gotta take my meds. And then of course Glennon Doyle, Untamed, incredible book. I have a copy. It's on one of my bookshelves somewhere. You have it. And then the We Can Do Hard Things podcast that she does with her sister and Abby Wambach is just one of the most incredible podcasts you can ever listen to if you are struggling with mental health or any type of substance abuse or disorders, disordered eating, your sexuality, spirituality. I mean, all of it. Like they talk about all of it. And they're just such wise, incredible humans, and they often have really incredible guests. So that podcast is on just Apple Podcast, or it might be on Spotify too. I'm not sure. But some very important ones to listen to.
Yeah, very much so. But help is out there. Just to drop it in here. Suicide Hotline's new number. It's 988.
988. Yeah.
Call it when you need it. Never have, because I always get there and I'm like, nope, I'm okay. I'd rather not talk to anybody. I'm good. And then I'm good.
Yeah.
So maybe even steps of getting there are what you
just
need.
Knowing that there's somebody that you can call in that moment. Yeah. Because I can tell you from personal experience, like, I am so absolutely glad that, that I'm here today, and I would not change it for the world. And some days are good. Some days are really fucking hard, but overall, I am so glad that I get to be here and experience all of it, because life is short enough as it is. It's short enough as it is. And, I just think the good often outweighs the bad if you can just keep going.
Yeah, agreed. There is a reason you're here. There's a reason we're all here. And even if it's not a big wave of change in the world, it's a ripple in somebody's life, that's enough. That's enough reason to just hold on, because we are all meant to find our people. And if you haven't found those people yet, that means they're still out there. So,
or maybe it means that you need to listen to your inner knowing and change your path a little bit. And as uncomfortable and difficult as that might seem, if you're not being true to yourself and you're not doing something that fulfills you and makes you happy, it's going to be harder to find your soul tribe, because you're not being authentic. So how are you going to find other authentic beings that resonate with your spirit and where you're at? So just something to think about.
Yeah. A lot of healing. Always.
A lot of healing. Yeah. A lot of healing. It's hard, but man, is it worth it? Like, the perspective and knowledge and wisdom that you get from going through the darkness and then coming out the other side. It not only does it make us more empathetic, compassionate, empathetic and compassionate human beings, but kind. But it also helps you see the beauty in the small things. It helps you appreciate the little things that you didn't appreciate before. It helps you see the world in a different way. It helps you see people in a different way, whereas I used to react to people who were incredibly rude or whatever, like it would light a fire in me and I would just, but now it's like, man, that person's struggling. And I feel sorry for them. Like, they must be really struggling to be acting that way. And I just, I feel sorry for them, and I hope that they get through it,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Anyway. So mental health. Speaking of which, I'm going to take my medication that I was supposed to take like an hour ago. Just taking some pills here, nothing to see.
Don't mind Grandpa.
Don't mind Grandpa. Just taking my pills over here, with my sweater on.
I'm so glad I'm not the only psychopath that drinks water, then takes the pills, and then swallows, like then pops the pills in. I've been made fun of several times.
Well, first of all, we're like basically the same person. And two, you can't just put them on your dry tongue, because then they're going to get stuck. And then it's like a whole thing of the feeling of the pill on your dry tongue.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Water, medication, water.
Swallow more water.
There's no other way to do it. So in case you're doing it some other way, you're doing it wrong, listen to us. It'll change your life.
I promise you'll never taste
Right.
pills again, ever.
Right. If there's one thing you take away from this podcast today, let it be that.
Water pill water.
Water pill water. Yep. All right. I'll just reiterate, times are hard. We have to stick together. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep supporting one another. Community. We will get through this. Just keep going.
There is a light at the end of some tunnel somewhere.
It is me. It is me. I am the light. I'm just kidding.
I am the way.
And
And the way is gay.
the way is gay. And the way is gay. There it is. Okay. Bye.
Bye.